Stephanie Manktelo here. Welcome to our Millwall Fans Show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy!
Welcome to the 2025-26 season of Millwall No One Likes Talkin's Our Millwall Fans Show. I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and I'm excited to be here with the fantastic, delirious, and so energetic No One Likes Us Talking team. Ted Robinson, hello.
Evening, Eamonn.
Great to hear from you. Jeff Burnige, here for the flight. Hello.
I'm not delirious, but I am here. Good evening.
And Steve Warren, hello.
Hello, I'm here too, Eamonn.
That's good. I'm here. We'll go wherever we are. Anyway, a big hello to our listeners too. That'll be wonderful stuff.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
We have a guest and there are plenty of Millwall matters to discuss. For now, let's pause for a moment to hear about our sponsor, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned marque. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julian's here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 81 3562. G&M Motors have been dear friends with the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, lions together.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Jeff Burnige, Ted Robinson and Steve Warren. A big thank you to our sponsor, G&M Motors. Our first guest, in essence, is the person who leads the Millwall Community Trust in delivering vital services and opportunities, acting as a pivotal figure in integrating the football club with the community through meaningful engagement and positive social impact in Southwark, Lewisham and beyond. Yes, it's that one and only, it's Sean Daly. Hello, Sean.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening, Sean.
Evening.
Evening, Sean.
Good evening, Jeff.
Good evening, Sean.
Good evening.
Well, they managed that very politely and in unison. That was pretty good, I thought. Anyway, Sean, it's great to see MCT's Jubin Sarami alongside the Metropolitan Police Commissioner and the Mayor of London on BBC News on Tuesday at the Damilola Taylor Youth Centre in Peckham. The discussion highlighted that homicide rates are at record lows and violence in London is decreasing. But can you provide more details and particularly about MCT's involvement?
We've been working in Southwark, especially the Damilola Taylor Centre, for as long as I've been there, so six odd years. And we get some funding from the Violence Reduction Unit, which is part of Mayor of London's funding. And the idea is that we'll go and work in some hotspot areas that are identified by the police as just areas that need sort of like positive activity going on. A lot of youth clubs have been shut down, in the country, and there's not much around there for kids to do. So we'll go there 2 or 3 times a week, and we'll put on some positive activities. And I think what the mayor wanted to see is he wanted to see where his funding's going. You get, a lot of people will apply for the money, but he actually wants to go and see what we're doing. So we work with a company called Mentivity, who do around mentoring young people. We also do work with a company called Fight for Change, which are a boxing company. And, every week we're at the Damilola Centre delivering football, boxing, and then mentoring some of these young people into employment, education, all different programs. And the mayor sort of rang us like the week before and said, look, I want to come down to Damilola Centre. Can you just put a session on? So because it was during the day, we couldn't get the same sort of young people that we have in the evening. So we went to a local school, brought them down that we work in. And it was just really that to see where his money goes. And for us, it's great profile again.
Thanks, Sean.
Hi, Sean. It's Steve here.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, good to speak to you again. It's brilliant that you were involved, the MCT were involved in that great initiative. And it's a brilliant credit to what you and your team do. The February half-term camps are going ahead at St Paul's Ground and the Lions Centre. What will those attending be getting up to?
We always say that, during the week we're in schools and youth centres and different venues and that, but sort of like half terms is very important. We keep some of these young people active. They'll be active at school, but school half terms is an opportunity for children to, just stay indoors and play with their PlayStation. So we put on lots of sporting activities. So a Lions Centre, for instance, will be multi-sport, so that's everything from basketball, cricket, football, tennis, and then to creative arts. So the kids can do, modelling with clay. They can do a bit of dance, all different things. So we're trying to not just be a football provider. We want to be like a sports provider and creative arts. And then at St Paul's, because it's like a nice AstroTurf, it will just be a football camp up there. But we're looking for Easter to expand into other areas. So we're looking to get a couple new venues, one being Rocky and Righty, one being St Matthew's School. So we're going to try and expand our delivery across a couple of boroughs.
Brilliant.
But it'll just be, 5 days for the kids to get out some physical activity, meet some of our coaches, put on some food for the kids, just really get the kids active for that week instead of just sitting at home, socialising as well, meeting new children, new young people.
Brilliant. So how can people register and what will it cost them?
It's £12 a day. We try and do it very cheap. We don't get funding for February from anybody, but we sort of we've amended that for Easter and May. We've got funding. But so we're going to do it as low as we can. It's £12 a day and it's on our website. And that's how you book on it.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hey, man, it's Jeff Burnige here. How are you?
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Sean, how you doing?
I'm good, Jeff. Good.
That's lovely to hear. I'm looking forward to... I'll try and get along to one of the half-term sessions, if I can, late in February. Great to hear that. What I wanted to ask you is about... the use of first-team players in some of the work that you do. For example, at the half-term session at St Paul's or the Lions Centre, will you be able to get a first-team squad member to attend at some stage?
Yeah, so we make a request in, and to be fair, the club are really good, I always say that, my biggest endorsement is when players turn up. And we never tell the children the players are going to come because, things could change for them. They could get injured, they could end up in the gym or whatever. So we never try to tell the young people the players are going to come. And I think it's great when a player endorses your programs and comes to it. So I've got 16 ambassadors of the first team. And I try and get them out as much as I can. So last week we had a couple go to a few schools. We'll get holiday camp ones. They did the visits to the hospitals. but we have made a request that we'd like them to come out for February half term at both venues. So fingers crossed we will get them out.
That'd be great. The kids love that.
Yeah.
Now, I also want to ask you about the your involvement with the football club's All Wall Drive. You now have a monthly summary of your activities posted on the Millwall and MCT websites under the title of All Wall in the Community. Now, how did this come about, and how is it being received?
Yeah, I spoke to the media department, and we will have stories flowing on the community pages on our own website non-stop every day, and the clubs, the club's website's great. They'll try and put as many as they can on there, but a lot of fans want to read about the first team and how players are getting on and stuff like that. So I went to see Max over at the media team and say, if you're struggling to get them on every day because there's other things going on, why don't we just do a selection of what we think has been very diverse programs? So it can be a schools program, it can be the Lionesses, it could be the Romans story, and then just put them down once a month, just put like a community page with all the stories on it. And we've been doing it since about October, November, and it's gone down very well. But it's just in one place where someone can see 5 or 6 stories of what's going on, around employment, education, sport. And then we just thought that'd be an easier way to just highlight some of the work the Trust is doing. And I think it's important that the fans get to know what the club are doing in the local area. And it's not just about 90 minutes on a football pitch on a Saturday. We're there every day serving the community, and I think that's what they need to be proud of, the club, the work it's doing there.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they all love it.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Hi, Sean, it's Ted here, mate.
Hi, Ted.
Hi, mate. Sorry I didn't make the centre dash here, but in true Millwall form, I picked up an injury the week running up to the game. So, I kept up with the first team in that respect this year. But I'm already back into training. Now I'm living down here in Whitstable. I've got my sea runs that I've been doing in the morning. So hopefully this year I'll make it. But we've received numerous comments from listeners of Debbie Julian's interviews with participants, and many said they were unaware of the event was taking place, despite expensive, high-profile advertising. From your perspective, Sean, can you accommodate more participants next year?
Yeah, Ted. I'm always trying to get it to grow bigger and bigger. I always panic with a week to go where I've only got 10 people signed up, and then on the day there's 50, 60. So I'm always panicking, and I just think it's a great day. Everyone comes together, all the little kids dressed as elves and that. I just think it's become like, what we've done it 4 or 5 years now. We've done it, and people do say to me, "Oh, when's the next Santa Dash? You are going to do it this year, aren't you?" So we'll take as many people that want to be involved in it. We try and push it and support it as much as we can, and try and get people to sign up. So I don't know how else I'm going to push it any further, but no, it's just a great day.
Well, I'm sure we'll do our bit. Sean, and making sure that everybody gets to know about it, and I will try and get not only myself but a few mates along next year. We'll try and do that. But anyway, Sean, it's a new year, ideal for new beginnings. But what would be your big 3 wishes for the Trust in 2026, mate? What's your big 3 wishes that you want?
I want us to be successful, and all I've ever wanted us to do is to be the best we can. And I want people to recognise the club for the work that it deserves. Not just the Trust, but the club, because without the club, we wouldn't be able to do the work we do. And I'd like people to sit up and say, actually, the Millwall Football Club is a great community club. They address so many things within the local community. So, we're talking about highest youth unemployment ever. We're trying to address that. We had, I think, about nearly 200 career events last year. So, we're dealing with youth crime as well at the moment, which is what Sadiq Khan came to see. So for me, what my big thing is for people to give the club the recognition it deserves. Big thing is to, always to make my organisation stable, keep my staff, not have them to worry about anything else financially or anything like that. And my big one for me is I'd like the club to get into the Premier League, because I think once we get into the Premier League, community trust gets looked after by the Premier League, and I think then we will open up more avenues because we'll get more funding from the Premier League. But my big thing is I'd like people to recognise the work the club does in the local community and judge us on that.
I think that's a big wish, Sean, and I wish exactly the same for you, because you are successful in what you do, in my opinion. It's just that there's not the recognition out there that people know. I speak to a lot of people about the MCT, and a lot of them have no idea what you do. Maybe, I was thinking earlier, Sean, maybe you should do some sort of documentary type thing that you could perhaps get out, showing the things that you do, maybe over like like the half-term thing coming up down at St Paul's or something, or you know what I mean, just to highlight all the things that you do. If you put something together like that, listen to me, I'm not a TV executive or anything like that, but I think it would be good and it would be promotional for yourselves.
No, I agree, and I think that's one of the things we have got better at about promoting ourselves, but I think it's more about that we're not interested in that, we're interested in doing things. And we've got to this far now, and I think back 6 years ago we never used to promote ourselves at all, and we've done that a lot better. But when I speak to lads and say, look, and girls, look, we need to get this out more, and they say we'd rather just do the work, Sean, but I think we've got to come up with improving how we promote the club more and how we promote the work the club is actually doing in the local community. And we've put ourselves up for a couple of awards this year, which is one thing that we never really do, the national awards, and hopefully, touch wood, we might get some of them.
Yeah, it's the only thing that you ever see, really, of any sort of advertising for the sort of, as we know, lots of football clubs are the same as yourself, got communities trust that in there. But the only thing that really does anything is on the EFL highlights show. They go into clubs afterwards, don't they, and show.
Yeah.
But my thought is that's fantastic when you see that at the end of that programme. But having seen that, I just thought that's something that maybe the MCT could do to, a sort of slightly extended version of something like that. But I think you really need someone from outside to do it, Sean, to be quite honest.
Maybe. I'll have a look at that. In after April, once we get to the end of the financial year. But, mate, you're right, getting somebody outside to come and do a documentary on the work we do.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure us and Eamonn do whatever we can to help that sort of get underway or off, because I think anything like that would help you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I think Ted could even become your man on the scene and sorting it all out as well.
Do you know what? I was talking away and I think I'm making a little rod for my back here.
I think it ought to include some shots of Ted training for the Santa Dash.
Yeah, recovering from his injury.
Yeah. There'll be a lot inside.
Yeah, we deal with people in recovery, and here's Ted.
It'd be finishing up a promo for the medical team, let alone the community trust.
Yeah, that would be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well, there is so much that goes on. I mean, I get surprised with some of the things people say. There's a website out there. Go and have a look. Have a listen to our show.
Yeah.
They come on there and, but it's all over too quick and I don't really get the feeling for it. Okay. But anyway, we've also got that famous poster that exists across social media who always knows when it's right until he doesn't. Then promotes it all over social media. He takes a bit of stick for it as well in some places. But he deals with that, as Stan would. So, great. absolutely great. Gary was there with his kids as well on the Santa Dash. So we're increasing by numbers there anyhow,
Thank
one
you.
way or the other. I think there'll be more to come.
Well, my ambition is to make sure I beat Gary's kids across the line. That might be an achievement.
Yeah, that would be an achievement, Ted. I'll let her come along and record that myself. Yeah, to see that. Absolutely brilliant, absolutely. One thing that I want to raise with you, Sean, is you inducted another Forever Lions Club member in our over 90s category on the 23rd of December. That was a bit of a late run. Can you share the story?
Yeah, sure. I've got to catch up with Brian King anyway, because when I signed up to do this Forever Lions, I didn't know I'll be travelling all over the country. I thought I was just going to be sitting there eating food. But, so I got an email was sent to the club about a player called Phil Hayes. It was his 90th birthday. And it was just more of, it was just a request to the club that could the club send like a birthday card to him just to celebrate his birthday. And it came to me and it landed on my desk, and I just thought, like, you know, it's the big thing for me is that someone that's 90 years old and spent time playing for the club, a Christmas card isn't enough. A birthday card's not just enough. You can't say someone. He gave his time up and played for the club, and so he was based down in Crawley. So I spoke with his daughter for quite a while, and said, "Look, it's just before Christmas. What date's his birthday?" And she gave me the date, and I said, "Look, would you mind if I come down?" And she was like over the moon. No, you don't need to do that. And I said, "No, I'd love to." So I drove down to Crawley. I organised this year's shirt with 90 on the back, with Hayes on the back, and the certificate and the Forever Lions tie. And then I met him. I went to his house. He was absolutely shocked. I came in and he was bright as a button. He was switched on. He was telling me all about how he lived in Brentford, and he used to travel over to the Old Kent Road, and you know, during the summer, they didn't get paid during the summer, so he worked as a labourer and worked on a fruit market. And I spent a couple of hours, but it was just unbelievable. And he just could not believe that the club would take time to send someone down to meet him. But anyway, I was in awe. It was an absolute honour to go down and meet somebody like that. And the stories he gave, I was there for a great couple of hours, but the stories could have gone on for ages. And I've since had an email from his daughter saying, you know, how shocked he was, and it was a privilege to meet me, but it was the other way around. Me to meet him was just great.
Well, that's a great story, and a birthday present come Christmas present, I think, more than that. And
I think when we started this Forever Lions Club, someone from another club said to me, You'll never realise, Sean, how much former players will respect being inducted into it and something like this. And I think they really brought it home. When I met Phil, he was just so shocked that someone from the club would actually honour him like that. And I said, "You must be the oldest player we had, you know, we got." And they were just like, and then I realised how important that Forever Lions Club is.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And more as they come along.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll make a great thing over time. I'm looking forward to seeing more.
But I'm still going to catch up with Brian King because he owes me the petrol money to Crawley. Which I won't get, will I? He'll invoice me the other way.
Didn't he book an Uber and put it on his account?
What, in his name?
Yeah, that's it.
They don't know him, do they? They go, Brian King, whether he gets everyone else to do it.
Oh, great fun. Well, I'm going to hand you over to Ted now because he's got something to say.
Yeah, but before you leave us, Sean, as you knew this was coming. The Prediction League still running, and today you're our guest, and I'm after your prediction for 3 matches. So we start off with the beloved Lions away to Watford on Saturday. How do you see that one going, Sean?
I think it's going to be a tough game. We went last week and won, didn't we? I think, was it 2-1?
2-1, yeah.
Yeah, and you know they're 6th, we're 5th. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think a draw. I think 1-1. I think would be a good one. I can't see it going either way. I mean, they're on a great run as well at the moment, Watford, and they come from nowhere to get into that.
They are probably the form side in the division, or they was in league terms, because they lost last week like us, but they were just flying up there. So I'll agree with you that one. But the next one, the team that's stuttering a bit, Coventry at the moment, and they're at home to Leicester.
A team Leicester, you thought they would be right up there at the beginning of the season, wouldn't you? You know, you'd think the three that went down would be straight back up, but they're struggling a little bit. But you're right, Coventry is struggling as well. So I can see Leicester beating them 1-0.
Yeah, I think it's a 50-50, which is strange. You're right about Leicester, though, Sean. They've surprised me. They've not been too good. But on the opposite side of that, all of a sudden they've come up from nowhere. Ipswich, the side that went down, at home to Blackburn. How do you see that one going, Sean?
I think Ipswich will turn over Blackburn. I think Blackburn are struggling a little bit now. So and Ipswich are in form. But I think it's probably the only season in the last couple of years where the three that went down don't look like they're the three that are going to go back up. So it's a open league now this year. Anyone could be in that.
Yeah, what do you reckon then, Ipswich?
So I think Ipswich will win 2-0.
Ipswich 2-0. Yeah, I'll make you right with that. They was my tip to win it this year, Ipswich. But they didn't start off very well, but they're flying now. But thanks for them predictions, Sean.
No, thank you very much.
And it's over to you, Eamonn.
Thank you very much, Ted. I like you employing yourself in that sort of directorial role. I can see the benefit of that. There's much more to come. I've got it feeling in my bones. Well, the insights were great. The humour was even better. And we really appreciate you joining us. So we look forward to hearing from you soon. All the best to you, your team, your family. Until the next time, bye for now.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Good night, Sean.
Good night, Sean.
Yeah, good night.
Sean Daly, what a star. So there we are. Let's take a break now and hear from that one and only Harvey Brown.
Hi, Harvey Brown here. I am proud of the Lions Food Hub, which is jointly owned by Kelly and Ellen Webster, and they have been supporting families within our community on Millwall match days. If you would like to donate to them, they have a match day donation hub by the SE16 bar at Colblow Lane, end of the ground, where they accept any food or money and toiletry donations. If you can help, any donations will be received with thanks.
I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the No One Likes Talkin team of Jeff Burnige, Steve Warren and Ted Robinson. No home games until Charlton, but you can still make donations to the Lions Food Hub all through the week at the Lions Centre, the home of the Millwall Community Trust. Many people are excited to hear that Ellis Barr is literally making great strides, excuse the pun, in improving her mobility. Since mid-September, she has been steadily progressing after her operation. We're all rooting for her and sending our warmest wishes as she continues her journey forward. Well, here's Ellis.
Hello, Ellis here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Come on, Millwall. Thanks as always, Ellis. Paul Loading brings us the Millwall Romans and Pride's update.
Hi, it's Paul Loading at the Millwall Romans with a quick update for the week. Last Sunday, Pride were playing against Phoenix. Phoenix was a good team from the East End. They put in a really good performance and managed to draw the game 2-2, which puts them just over mid-table. So they're having a really, really good season. This weekend, Romans, no game at the moment. Romans are at home on the 25th playing against Stonewall, but this weekend, Pride are hosting Barnes Stormers. Barnes do bring a good side over. They're kicking off 4:30 on Sunday afternoon at St Paul's. Looking a lot further forward, the big game coming up at the end of this month. It's the 1st of February. Pride have been drawn against Romans in the Cup, in the London Unity League Cup. That is going to be a very feisty game. That will be played on Sunday the 1st at St Paul's. Everyone's really looking forward to that one. It'll be, I'm sure it'll be a lively game. And predictions this weekend, Watford Millwall. I don't think that's going to be an easy fixture for Millwall. I'm probably going to say if we can get a draw out of that, I think we've done all right. So I'm going to say 1-1. Coventry Leicester. I think Coventry are going to take that 2-1. And Ipswich Blackburn. I'm going to say that Ipswich are going to beat Blackburn 2-1.
Well, that sounds reasonable, all the things you're saying there, Paul. And we look forward to the Battle of the Romans at the end of the month. And Pride. Mustn't forget them either. Our Millwall Lionesses were due to play in the league trophy last Sunday. But once again, it was called off. There is a date of the 25th of January for that to be rescheduled. And it appears that it's likely to be played down at Salter Road, but we'll hear confirmation of that next week when we talk about them there. Next up is an away cup match in the Dulwich Hamlet. Full details will be provided in the last section of the show. On Saturday we played Burnley at Turf Moor. Well, it was the first time since they ended our playoff hopes last season in the final game, winning 3-1. Our fans were optimistic ahead of the FA Cup tie last Saturday, but many were disappointed when we've come away being defeated by 5-1. However, Josh Coburn redeemed himself with a goal after that missed opportunity last season, and it was well taken. Thanks to Millwall FC media team, here are Alex Neil's thoughts after the match.
Alex, out of the Emirates FA Cup today, give us your thoughts on that game.
Yeah, listen, naturally disappointed. You concede 5 goals. Certainly the manner which we did was disappointing. I think in the first half it was quite strange in the fact that I felt every time they attacked they scored a goal, whereas we had, certainly as much chances, if not more chances in the first half when we were getting really good areas. But that's a clinical edge of Premier League teams. When they get into that final third, they punish you. And I think the disappointing thing for 2 of the 3 goals is we give the ball away in silly situations where we're under no pressure, and instead of them having to work really hard to get it back, we basically gift the ball to them, and then in the transition that's where they're really threatening. That's where they've got the quality, and unfortunately certainly in the first half that told.
6 players left at home today, with this obviously league very much in mind with your team selection, but a positive from today, Josh Coburn coming back and scoring that late goal.
Yeah, I thought Josh was good when he came on. In the first half, because we don't really have a target at the top end of the pitch, we bump Lenny up, but then obviously in transition it leaves us a little bit vulnerable down that side. And then when Josh come on, it allows us to turn the ball a little bit more, even though at times we didn't, where we should have done. Play it up round his feet. I think Raft is great for the goal, gets a toe on it. Josh then drives through and manages to produce a great finish. So yeah, listen, we don't obviously want to lose the game in the manner which we did, but that was certainly a positive moment for Josh and for us.
Yeah, positive moments as well for the likes of Rafik Lamptey, as you say, Jack Howland, AJ Matthews and Kamal Grant, 90 minutes as well. It's a good experience for them at this level.
Yeah, I think what it does show, but is it shows the levels of the Premier League. Obviously they went pretty strong in their team as well. And I think for us, first half, that was the frustrating thing for me, was first half I thought we had some good patterns of play, we got into some good areas, we created some decent opportunities, but you find yourself losing 3-0 and they've had 3 shots at goal and the ball ends up in the back of the net. So well, listen, there'll be good lessons for us to take away from the day. I think particularly the younger lads getting some good minutes. But yeah, like you say, we've got really important matches coming up in the league now.
One person you'd like to have in your squad today is Derek Mazusako. Unfortunately, I think he suffered a bit of a setback. Could you clear that up for us?
Yeah, Derek was a real strange one. Yesterday we were training, Derek was meant to start today, and then yesterday he sort of picked up a knock, but it was a bit innocuous, there wasn't any issues with it, hence the reason why he's travelled. We then got up on the train and his ankle sort of swelled up, and unfortunately he wasn't deemed fit enough to play, so that's why he didn't feature. Like I say, it wasn't anything significant, we didn't even sort of concern ourselves when it happened, hence the reason why he travelled with us. but unfortunately stiffened up, and it seems to be worse than what we initially anticipated.
Well, it's back to bread and butter of the league. Obviously, Watford away next Saturday. How do you make sure this goes to the back of the mind very quickly and we get back to that bread and butter, which is trying to finish in that top 6?
Yeah, listen, I think obviously you want to try and keep momentum. We want to try and come here and get a positive result. Burnley deservedly won the game. We didn't do enough. There was too many key moments where we gave the ball away in silly areas. However, like you said at the start, we've left 5 or 6 lads at home. We've got some of the younger boys some minutes, which was always my intention today. It's difficult when you bring the younger boys on because you don't want to bring them on in circumstances where it's hard for them to get the ball and you can't give them something to sort of cling on to, if you like, in terms of the nature of the game and the way it was. So, yeah, but listen, they did fine. You know what I mean? They come on, they got about the pitch, they gave everything they had. Like you say, we need to put this one to bed now. We need to focus on what's coming up.
Well, that was interesting from Alex, and the points he made there were quite valid. Steve, what did you make of the performance of the Burnley keeper in contrast to our own?
Well, when you look at the match stats, it shows that both teams had the same shots on target. I think Weiss made the save of the game from the header from Cooper. That was brilliant. But when you look at the stats, I mean, Weiss made 6 saves and Bender made 2. They looked kind of assured in and around their box, and we looked like schoolboys at both ends of the pitch, to be honest. But it's not all down to Bender, although I did think 3 of the goals, the middle 3, I thought we probably could have done better with. They did look a bit savable, but to be fair, overall Weiss looks solid and dependable, and Bender is on his way back to Fulham. So, quite frankly, enough said, I think.
Yeah, I think there was a bit more power in their shots as well than Ashley had a heyday, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. Barnes looked. He always seems to turn it on against us, doesn't he? It was some pretty poor defending, some pretty naive giving the ball away, and we just didn't look to be at the races at all. So, to say, it's not all Bender's fault, but I think some of the goals were savable. He just looks at sea, to be honest.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Ted, overall, what did you see as our weaknesses?
Well, it's a pretty obvious weakness. I wouldn't say any individual player, but we all know that the team's at its best when you can literally name the team before the game starts. And we haven't had that for God knows how long. But we had a lot of players filling in, a lot of players coming back. We probably, even when you like the look of Brian and Leonard in the full-back positions, they haven't been playing much lately. Certainly Ryan Leonard hasn't. But the back 4 was, apart from Cooper, completely different players. You know, Carmel Grant came in, which is fine. But that's 3 out of 4 of what is your normal back 4, you know. So I wasn't surprised that Burnley won. I was a bit surprised at the way that we lost, because like Steve just pointed out, there was some naivety going on there at times. But I've been saying this for the last few weeks. Well, the player that we really miss is Casper De Norre, because he's the natural midfield player that is there in front of the back 4, breaking things up and knitting things together when we've got the ball. And Billy's coming back off of his injury. Alfie Darrett is a fine player, but he's not really a central midfield player. So we was always going to be open a bit to a Burnley side, let's face it, at best a very good Championship side, at worst not a very good Premier side. But I thought the youngsters did well when they came on. I like the look of Lamptey. He looked good. Howland, I think, is going to be an excellent player. I think it will be good to see, if we get a few more players back, that Howland goes out on loan somewhere, like Carmel Grant's just gone to Blackpool, isn't he? I think them boys are ready for league football, whether it's League 1 or 2, or even the National League. It'll be good for them. But they look positive players for the future. And of course, the real positive, like everybody said there, is just Josh Coburn coming back and taking his goal very well, which all adds to this week being a completely different team with hopefully a completely different result.
Yeah, let's be hopeful. We'll see what we can see. We'll talk about that in a minute. Jeff, well, so many regulars were out from both sides. is this a good idea?
Well, I think in the early rounds, you don't see it because teams in League 1, 2 and National League, they're all putting their full-strength teams out. The issue is when you get to the third round, where the number of injuries that clubs are seeing this season, not just us, but us in particular, the intensity of the games and the frequency of the games means that the rotation of your squad has now become absolutely normal, even at Championship level, let alone Premier League level. It never used to happen, did it? 20 years ago, you put your best team out. But that's no longer the case. It's now, rotation is normal. Now, Alex pointed out that we left 6 players at home. We didn't put them on the bench. We gave 6 players a weekend at home, which shows you the priority he was giving to the league, because they weren't injured, they were just rested. So what it gave him the opportunity to do was to see how much progress some of our best under-21 players are making. And you both mentioned Rafik Lamptey. What was good for him was he got the assist for Josh's goal on his debut. I think the club have got high hopes for him. Also, a more familiar name probably, Jack Howland, a beautiful footballer, and he did very well, I think, in the game, considering we were under pressure for a lot of it. AJ, he has hardly played. He came on up front, and it was good to see him playing. And Kamal Grant, or Carmel Grant, however Ted wants to pronounce it, he's now gone on loan, as Ted said, to Blackpool, and Bender has gone back to Fulham. So I think, without being unkind, it's pretty obvious the manager wasn't saying so, but I think he was heavily prioritising the team selection for Watford. So what happens is that by the time you get to the 5th round, even the Premier League clubs, they've got Wembley in their sights. The semi-finals at Wembley, so it gets very serious then. But in the 3rd round, you get situations like the current cup holders going out to a National League side. What a shock that was.
Well, he wouldn't mourn you, Jeff, I tell you that much. Anyway, on Saturday, we face Watford at Vicarage Road with a 12:30pm kickoff. The Hornets were knocked out of the FA Cup by Bristol City, 5-1 at the weekend. Similar score. First team players were rested again in that one. Their league form has improved with 4 straight wins and 2 draws beyond that. Last time out, they defeated Birmingham 3-0. They also won away at Norwich and Leicester by the odd goal, and at home to Stoke as well. 2 draws followed, so no loss in 6 for our hosts. On the negative, for Watford, they said goodbye to centre-back loanee Max Alleyne, who has been recalled from a season-long loan by Manchester City. However, their recent form has moved them into the position behind us by a point, with a game in hand. Well, we beat them 1-0 with a Negley goal in September. They were tough to break down and stayed a threat throughout the game. Our performance has been inconsistent over the last 6 matches, with 2 losses, 2 draws and 2 wins. Keep in mind, though, some players are returning from injury, and it's good to see that happen. And, as it was pointed out, 6 were rested from the FA Cup. Both teams will want to put last weekend's performance and focus on securing a win this Saturday. Watford are in better form, and their home record at Vicarage Road this season has been exceptional. Alex Neil understands the importance of gaining 3 points this weekend. He is likely to have more options for his starting lineup, as I indicated earlier, and several players are back from injury. Unsurprisingly, though, given Watford's recent form and rise in league position, the bookies have them at evens to win. a draw at 5-2, as is the Millwall win at 5-2. The odds are close, only 2 and a bit points between them. What's your opinion, Jeff?
It's time to make a prediction. It is going to be a tough game. I think, in my bones, I feel that Millwall will be at something more like full strength, and I think they're going to beat Watford. I'm going to go for Watford 1, Millwall 2.
Watford 1, Millwall 2. That sounds very good. Steve?
Well, like you said, Watford have been on a good run, and ours has been a bit of a mixed bag. But I just think we're likely to see some players back. They'll have some players rested. I'm hoping Coburn starts. So I think it's going to be a tight game, but I think we're just going to edge it 1-0. I'd like to see Coburn score. I reckon he's going to score again.
Well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? A Coburn double over 2 games. And how about you, Ted?
Well, I think we're getting stronger all the time because the players are coming back. Hopefully there might even be a couple more coming back this week apart from Coburn, because, we still have quite a few supposedly on the injury list. But I was really impressed with us against Swansea, because Swansea was a sort of banana skin for me, that the sort of side we were turning up at the game expecting to beat. And I was really pleased with the manner of the victory that we got against Swansea. And like Jeff, I think, when you take 6 players that have been rested out of a team, that's half your side. Yeah. And I can see the players coming back obviously going to be making a big difference to the team for this week. And there is the added bonus that, Josh has come on for 20 minutes last week, that he may well be coming out for half hour this week. And he scored a wonderful winning goal at Watford last season. So I've got my fingers crossed for the same sort of outcome on Saturday. And I've gone the same as Jeff. I think we're gonna beat Watford again, and it ain't going to be easy, but I think it's going to be another 2-1 victory to us, and hopefully another Coburn header.
Another Coburn header. Well, he leaped like a salmon against Swansea, didn't he, eh? That was something to see. I'm minded that I think we're going to do well. We've also got to remember, I suppose, is that Watford's game at Hull was knocked off due to the weather. So they've had a little bit longer to sort of recuperate, if that makes sense, despite that defeat at Bristol. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Millwall. I've got a feeling that could be a great possibility. We've obviously talked about Millwall, and we need the predictions for the other 2 games, which are Coventry versus Leicester and Ipswich versus Blackburn. First of all, I'll go back to you, Ted, and I'll say, what do you reckon the scores for these 2 is going to be?
Oh dear. What did I say? Hold on, I have already said something to someone. I don't want to get it wrong. Bear with me, Eamonn.
Okay.
I think I'm going to say, well, Coventry, I just think Leicester have support recently, and I think Coventry are itching to get back into the winning ways. So I've gone for Coventry 2, Leicester 1.
Yeah.
And for the Ipswich Blackburn game, I just think, a bit like Sean said earlier, I think Ipswich, the side back in form, going to be too strong for Blackburn, because they ain't really, they are beginning to struggle a bit, Blackburn. Yeah. So I've gone for 2-0 for Ipswich.
2-0 for Ipswich. Okay. Next up is you, Jeff. What do you think about those 2 games?
I think Ted's been talking sense there.
That's Andy.
I think Coventry have had a bit of a wobble. They've had a couple of injuries, haven't they? Well, several injuries. Yeah. Everybody seems to have had them, although I don't think anybody's been as badly affected as Millwall have been. But I'm going to go for Coventry 2, Leicester 0. I'm not impressed with Leicester. I think Coventry 2-0.
Right.
And Ipswich, I'm tempted to go big, but I'm going to go again, Ipswich 2, Blackburn 0. Same as Ted that was, I think. So, yes, they're my 2 predictions.
Well, there you go, assimilating things that Ted does. That's great recognition, I think, all round. Last but not least, Steve, What do you reckon?
I think, like others have said, that Coventry, I think they're going to start coming back on again. They're going to probably get some players back. And Leicester just don't look anywhere at the moment. So I think it's going to be 2-0 to Coventry.
Wow. And how about the Ipswich game with Blackburn?
Well, I don't know. I've just got a funny feeling Blackburn might start doing something. They seem to sort of go on a sine wave, a bit good, a bit bad, bit good, bit bad. So I reckon they're going to come back a bit strong and they're going to win 2-1.
2-1. Okay. 2-1 to the boys from Ewood Park. Okay. Well, I'll give you mine. They're pretty straightforward. I don't think either Coventry or Leicester are going to make a great performance out of Saturday, and I've just gone for a 1-1 draw, to be honest with you. I've looked at how they've played in different places. I know they've got players coming back, but I don't think they're ready to light the sky up, and that'll be a big worry for their boss. Ipswich, though, I've gone the other way, and I've got a 3-0 prediction there. I think they're going to start thumping the goals in like they did the season when they went up from the Championship. I can see it happening, and it'll be good to see if they can follow that through. So anyway, we also have predictions from Nick Wyeth of the Facebook Millwall Sicily site, who said, remind Ted that he's not far off the top again, and he better start working out what the prize is for this season and make it known to as many people as he possibly can. But anyway, let's listen to what Nick actually has to say for his predictions.
Hello everybody, my predictions are Watford 1, Millwall 1, Coventry 1, Leicester 2, and Ipswich 3, Blackburn 0. Thank you.
It's good to see a man after my own mind there. That's very good, Nick. And I think thanks goes out to Dave Hart for compiling the results and creating the table. That would be excellent work that he does. We'll take a break there and hear from Bethany Magdalow.
The Millwall Community Trust is located at the Lions Centre, Ballina Road, London SE16. Each year it delivers a wide range of football and sports development programmes to thousands of young people, from toddler soccer to professional pathway, across different ages, genders and abilities. Check out the Millwall Community Trust website.
Well, I'm your host, Eamonn Barclay, and with me I have the wonderful team who've been extra special tonight. That's Jeff Burnige, Steve Warren and Ted Robinson. Really good to have them all back together again this year. And I'm sure they're hoping for another wonderful year with Our Millwall Fans Show and Maritime Radio. Well, we're all looking forward to the next game, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and those interested in football.
Millwall Football Club's All Wall campaign, which we mentioned earlier, promotes equality, diversity and inclusion in the community. It reflects the club's ongoing commitment to fighting discrimination and fostering a respectful, welcoming environment for all. Building on its legacy of anti-discrimination initiatives, the campaign strives to eliminate discrimination from football. The club's Bronze Award for the EFL Equality Code of Practice underscores its dedication to these principles. It fosters an inclusive environment for staff and supporters and aligns with the club's broader community engagement efforts. Why not check out the month-on-month activities of the Millwall Community Trust referred to earlier when Sean was on, which are detailed in the All Wall in the Community, published on the football club's website alongside the Millwall Community Trust news.
For Millwall fans, the bus route for the P12 has been affected by ongoing roadworks, which in some cases have been delayed beyond the initial expected completion date. This route provides the nearest transportation option to the Den, which stops in either direction just 100 metres from the John Belson Way, even while the roadworks are still in progress. TfL can confirm that the service is now running in both directions along Ilderton Road, which will be fantastic for the Charlton game because obviously it's a sellout. Next week's show will be hosted by Bethany Mangtalo with a panel that includes myself, Dave Hart and Andy Petman, and maybe a guest or two.
The Millwall Lionesses will return to action in the Surrey FA County Cup this Sunday when they face Dulwich Hamlet, who will play in the Women's National League South East in a London derby. The match will take place at Champion Hill Stadium, Edgar Cow Way, East Dulwich, SE 22 8BD at 2 p.m. on Sunday. If you can join our Lionesses, they would greatly appreciate your support. Both teams are eager to progress in the Cup, and with a passionate crowd, the Lionesses game will be played with pride, passion and determination. Come along, sing a song and cheer our Lionesses on.
Tune in to No One Likes Us reports from our games home and away for the Lions, Lionesses, Romans and Pride. You'll also receive updates on Mill community topics from us and through Maritime Radio. And hopefully through the directorship of Ted Robinson when he brings a documentary to the floor. Anyway, those things can be seen on Facebook, X formerly Twitter, YouTube, Spreaker and all major podcast platforms. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, Eamon. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, Eamon. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone at home.
And thank you, Ted.
Cheers, Eamon. Cheers, all.
And a big thank you to you all for tuning in. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. Good night.
Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em all come down to the den. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, we'll only have to beat 'em again. It's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em come, let 'em all come down to the den.
Our Millwall Fans Show is sponsored by G&M Motors of Gravesend, Honda dealers and much more. Thank you.